Hello guys and welcome back. We're here in what could be the last day of the Eastern European DPC League, the lower division created by ESL, powered by Intel. We have two best of threes for today. At least two best of threes that are the last best of threes of the regular league, and then we can see if we have tiebreakers or not. The first one will be between Puckchamp and IPG, and this will determine if Puckchamp gets to make it through the upper division or if they have to go through tiebreakers, as IPG will be the last obstacle in their path.
Well, maybe, right?
Well, it's certainly the last obstacle on their path.
Well, no, because if they lose, then they have another obstacle on their path.
That's a new path. They're starting a new path.
Well,
No, it's a whole
still the
nother-
same
it's
path.
a whole other thing.
Well, if the path leads to the same destination, I would say it's the same path.
Well, that's what
It's
Robert,
just-
that's what
it's-
Robert
it's-
Frost was saying.
It's just a more scenic route.
That's what Robert Frost was
It's
saying.
just a more scenic
His
route.
whole point was that like not all paths are like they seem unequal, but the reality's destination is the same because you're a fool.
So therefore, who's the fool here?
Well, therefore, anyone who
Yeah, that's what I
doesn't
thought.
believe Robert
Anyway,
Frost's words.
We are now live with our first series, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Puckchamp versus IPG. IPG, they're already qualified here. They're going to be splitting, I believe, fourth and fifth place here with Gambit 2.
Yeah, I mean, when I say qualified, I'd just be like they're done, I guess.
Well,
Because they haven't made it past anything, right? I guess they've stayed in the lower division.
Hey, I mean, we haven't been able to say as much for a couple of teams, right?
Well, just for bait.
Well, and possibly for our next match as well, but we'll get into that one in a little bit. So they are maybe just playing here. I mean, they still got something to play for as well. These guys are already effectively leaving their roster. They're still playing together, though, under the tag team Tequila.
They're the org, you mean, yeah. Because the roster stayed the same.
With the change being that Koval is now going to be replacing Antoha. Ladon's playing like this pseudo position 5 role where he starts in the safe lane, but then he gets position 4 farm after the lane transition. It's kind of weird, but it works.
I mean, he's just been playing Clockwork, dude. This is all he does. Like, I feel like he's been in different positions, but just at least the ones we've seen specifically in this league, of course.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
It's
but
just been Clockwork on
But he
Antoha.
plays it a bit different, because before with Antoha, he would play like a real 4 role.
Always
right?
4 o'clock, yeah, it's
like
true.
like from the lane. Now he starts as a 5, and then after the laning stage breaks down, he transitions over to the 4. Sometimes even earlier.
Actually, with Antoha, he also used to play 5 clock, as in like he used to play lane clock as well with Antoha.
Yeah.
But the difference is that now, if he plays the lane 5, he doesn't transition into the 4 position later. Like with Antoha, it was a lane thing, whereas nowadays, at least with Koval, when he's playing Rubik, for example, he just plays 5 clock and that's it. He doesn't transition.
Yeah, but
with
that's the
multiple
thing, is you say that, and he may say the same, but the farm doesn't reflect it. Every single game I've seen, because I've been casting them in Snow Sweet Snow as well, every single game I've seen this on, even when it's like a clock Grimstroke, right? Like, this is probably going to be Koval on Grimstroke, who's a hero that does farm way better than a Clockwork. I think everyone can agree with that, right? But still, like, 30 minutes into the game, you'll still have Ladon on top of Koval by like a couple of grand in terms of net worth. We'll see if that's the case this game.
I mean, if he plays 4, that's what I'm trying to tell you. But when Koval played like Rubik, for example, he was below the whole game.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's Clock was below the Rubik the whole game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
multiple times when Koval played the 4, like a hardcore 4, not like a Grimstroke or a Shadow Demon, he was already below. Ladon would just adopt him via 5.
No, we'll see. We'll see what it goes to this game. In the most games I've realized, or I've noticed it. It's been kind of that Ladon still getting his farm. He can't get that position 4 out of his play style. He just farms a whole bunch. Or maybe that's just because he's getting a bunch of kills because he always plays the Clockwork and hits these amazing hook shots.
I think that's more it, to be honest, because when you see also the farm priority they give him, they do give Koval a bit of farm priority, but Ladon, even when he's playing 4, they gave him 0 farm priority. Like, yes, he'd find farm from kills, right, but he wasn't finding farm from anything else. They weren't giving him a time like, I don't know, say Yabzor and Secret, who gets a specific time to like farm his items.
Right.
For Ladon, it was just like, do your thing.
I'm also wondering if this is going to be a Grimstroke core here. That's something that Team Tequila / IPG have been playing around with a little bit.
That's true. Yeah.
As have a lot of other teams. Brame, they've tried it as well a couple of times with Skylark. IPG, I think they've ran it mid before, if I'm not mistaken, for Asgold.
IPG was off lane that we saw as well.
Okay.
We saw it in Supernova. We also saw it mid, you're right. We saw it mid and off lane for this team.
Yeah.
I think the only team that I've seen like popularly using this, besides of course OG with Topsim, with, well, you know, whenever they use something, it's like, is it really that popular, or are they just memeing? You never know. But it was Tundra, right? 9 from Tundra does play the Grimstroke mid semi-regularly, whereas I think in CIS particularly, this pick has been more of a counter pick. Like, yes, if you see Terrorblade, we've seen this hero a bit more as a core.
Yeah, it's a big niche pick. It's not bad this game if you want to consider it because everyone's got really bad base attack speed, and that's what you're looking for to make sure the Phantom is effective in the early game. Once you get E-Blade, it's still a little bit helpful to make sure, Oracle, he can save you with a hard dispel, but he's not going to save you from the Phantom.
Exactly.
Because he can't right-click you.
So that's a good point.
Sometimes I do tend to see that as well, especially because there's a lot of heroes in the meta like your Vipers, your Tusks, right? Who their whole gimmick is we buff auto attacks, but we don't do them very quickly.
Well, yeah, Viper, because he's an agility hero if it goes to later.
You get up there.
But Viper's quite weak to Grimstroke because the E-Blade counters him very hard, right? So some heroes that are particularly good at right-clicking or have that ability, or as you say, they buff the right-clicks. Also, like for example, Drow is in the same pool where, like, yes, you may be able to hit hard, but that means that E-Blade counters you completely.
Yep.
So mid Grimstroke becomes very popular in that sense. And this game, I mean, because you're already countering the Pango so hard, I don't think you really need it for anything else, but the Pango counter's already making you a very viable pick in general.
Yeah, it's going to be a decent Puck Ags game as well a little bit later on. Early, you can just rely on the Grimstroke Soulbind to stop the Rolling Thunder. Later, when some BKBs come out, Puck's going to be wanting to probably gun for that Aghanim Scepter, but earlier on, Witchblade, Blink Dagger, whatever they're really feeling here for Ascult, who's likely to take this Puck mid. We'll see. Still a little bit of room to flex it, but you'd end up running the Grimstroke probably in a core role if you did want to flex it into either the off lane or as a support.
I mean, you could run Puck 5, which I haven't seen this team do yet, by the way. Some teams do run the Puck 5 regularly.
Yeah, Bait
but
likes
IPG
to.
has not done that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Bait did it. That's true, Bait did it at the end. They did it once, twice towards the end.
Yeah, I think they did it twice, over this whole league, as I recall correctly. Because the first time I was surprised, and the second time I was like, I feel like Duster's done this, and Duster's like, yes.
Which is rare, particularly because in CIS, or Eastern Europe, sorry, they haven't run the Puck 5 as often, right? It's actually much more of a European pick, the Puck 5, as we've seen teams like, for example, Tundra actually, or Secrets that are running regularly, as opposed to just like a gimmick thing. I don't think IPG is going to run it for this game. I particularly see Grimstroke Weaver as a lane they've run before. It's a pretty strong lane. It's a lane that benefits Rari a fair amount. We have seen the Weaver kind of take a bit more predominance. Pretty bad win rate, though, in this lower division league.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just kind of realizing, oh, Falcon Blade's kind of a legit first item on this guy. I think
it buffs up you early nicely. It makes you much more of a early mid-game threat.
Really helps you farm a whole lot as well. Like,
yeah.
It's the perfect, because before Urn was like fine for the mana and for the price it was okay, but you'd keep it for the stats and the residual damage, but it was just all right. That's all it was. Whereas Falcon Blade kind of seems like an item not really made for Weaver, but for his early game it checks all the boxes.
It does. You need mana, HP, and damage. That's exactly what it gives you. So it's pretty solid. And of course, since Weaver being an early mid-game skirmisher, he really loves getting those kills because, as you say, yeah, it gives you a bit more farming potential, but it also gives you hero farming potential by being able to engage in early fights without, having to have a big commitment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yep. Alrighty, IPG then for their last pick. They'll run the Underlord, so it looks like it is going to be the position 5. Well, we'll see where they lane it, but it's probably going to be the Grim Weaver.
Clock,
yeah, those are support duos for sure here for Puckchamp.
I would say probably 5 Grim and 4 Clock, at least for the laning stage.
Yeah, for the laning stage for sure.
Now, Puckchamp, this Underlord pick is quite solid because it takes away a lot of carries. Like within Weaver and Underlord, a lot of carries just become unviable, and you just can't pick them. Juggernaut still seems kind of decent here, for example, particularly against both, especially with a new shard. Monkey King, okay. Not too solid against Clock particularly, or Puck, mind you, but pretty decent against Underlord, and actually kind of good against Weaver.
Yeah.
So in the same way that Monkey King counters Lycan, because you just set up a circle, and then you go, alright, come in the circle, Lycan, you're gonna die. Same with Weaver, right? If you Shukuchi throughout the circle, and the statues are free, they're gonna hit you no matter how fast you're going, you take a lot of damage, you can't really last that, and the extra armor in the circle makes Monkey King pretty much invulnerable to Rari, so that's really good. Against Underlord, you're a bit annoyed by the roots, but not enough, because you can always just jump over that circle, and it's really the Puck Clockwork whose role is going to be to deal with Krillot. I like to draft my Puckchamp a bit better with this last pick.
So do I. Normally I don't really like these kind of redundant saving supports on the Oracle Shadow Demon, for example, but I really like it this time because I think if the game's kind of going pretty bad out of the laning stage, for example, which is possible with a Weaver, he's a bit of a faster carry. The Underlord, he's kind of known to start snowballing, especially once he gets a couple more levels in the atrophy, and then you just can't farm under the, what's it called, what's his... Firestorm. Thank you. It was like Fire Rain. That's not right. It's something like that. Firestorm. But having two like really great supports to save, they can actually save each other, which is really useful at making sure they can get their ultis and their abilities out and possibly extend the game a bit longer. It's a good 4 protect 1 that Puckchamp are kind of running here. They're going to need the Void Spirit to make the space early game. A little bit challenging with the Puck here, granted, as well as the Underlord. But since you again do have those 2 supports to help you out, I think they might be able to get away with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Puckchamp is a very solid at every point in the game, to be honest. I don't think they particularly struggle at any point. The one weakness I could see from them would be that, yeah, the tempo from IPG is a bit better, right? You could argue that at least you can play with like S5 from the get-go, with Weaver Puck being really powerful early game rotators. And usually Monkey King is not that great, you know, very early, so you can use that time to just start to snowball. But you really like the farm to take away the Monkey King's map control. So it's not like you winning a couple engagements early will give you that much advantage. Nice positioning, by the way, by Supernova. This level 1 smoke has become super popular in this region. Even though Supernova knew, it seems like Ladon didn't, and that's why the Balance Strike hits both, and Ladon is going to die and give the first one to Melis. Okay.
Yeah, they weren't expecting Krelat to have put a ward up there. That's what surprised them about it. I don't think
now he dewards it.
Yeah, because he knows this is going to be instantly dewarded. He just doesn't want to give the Golder experience. Nice
Clean
job
your
there.
own mess, Krelat.
Astral cleaning it up. I mean, it was probably his ward that he gave to Krelat, even though they're free, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. But yeah, nice play there. Sending the Monkey King forward first. I'm going to be honest, I also never check cores to see if they've warded. If I see a support, I'm always checking, and I'm always pinging. If it's a core, I go, who cares? Right? They don't ward. But they're free now. Nice play. I think that's something out from Puckchamp that could have possibly gotten them the first blood. Unfortunately, it's going to lose them out a bounty rune, as they'll only be able to secure 1 for themselves.
Krelat turning into his own bounty rune. It's not too bad for IPG in the end. I mean, they take the 3 bounty runes. Puckchamp only takes 1, so yeah, it's a kill, but you get an extra bounty rune. So you could even treat this as like first blood for bounty, which in my opinion is always worth the bounty, right? The first blood is never worth a bounty. Unless you like get first blood in your mid and you have like a very specific matchup where that advantage is super important, usually bounties are worth just more net gold. It's
going to be all right. I would just take a look at like who does this affect? It affects Melis. What does it get him? Gets him a little bit more regen. Gets him a stick. It's nice to have versus a Weaver versus a Grim, right? I don't think it's going to like stomp the lane. You know, it's not like now I have a stick versus a Shadow Demon, for example. Exactly. That's a bit of a bigger deal. So totally agree with you on that analysis there.
If your matchup was a bit more even on Pango Weaver, I'd be like, all right, you know, because Pango can use the early gold for something, particularly over Corrosion, but against Weaver, it's just that matchup is quite Weaver favored, right?
Exactly, and that's kind of what I mean. It'll help him. He'll get a little bit more farm, but it's not going to completely ruin your game here. So the extra bounty gold, why not? We'll take it.
You want this mid lane, you should be going the way of Puckchamp relatively easily. Usually Void Spirit tends to win this lane.
First point in the Aether Remnant, by the way.
That's the way you counter Puck, actually. That's how you build against Puck. Because if Puck builds Phase Shift early, try to avoid your... Because a lot of Pucks, what they do these days is they actually build level 1 Phase Shift to avoid the shield. And then you win the early just because of your auto attack damage, right? As opposed to Illusory Orb. And how you counter that is you go for Aether Remnant. So it's like, you know, the Flame... It's the same thing with the Ember Spirit matchups, where it evolved, or if the Ember Spirit starts to ignore Flame Guard in some matchups, then the enemy can start building up their magical damage. These matchups start to evolve within themselves.
Supernova is probably going to go ahead and proc the Jingu here, but taking a lot of damage. Krelat can't really fight under that Firestorm, and he's going to miss the Boundless Strike as well onto Ladon. A little bit of extra lifesteal missing, but he'll still be okay at the end of the day.
At level 1, you get 15% lifesteal. It's pretty trash, to be honest. It's once you get level 2 that it's more respectable. And look at the aggression by Desperate. He knows this lane is his, to win. Desperate is a really good Void Spirit player. I think it's by far his better hero. Or his best hero, sorry.
Careful here for Rari. We still don't have any points in the Shadow Poison, luckily for him.
How they destroyed Rari so much, huh? Without Shadow Poison, mind you.
Lucky shot? I don't know.
I mean, you saw the disruption earlier. We played like quite aggressively against Rari. So I don't know if they're constantly just going at him.
Gives it like a good setup, and that's another reason I really like the Shadow Demon, even on the position 4. It's a great setup for Melis, right? Allows him to get off a Rolling Boulder, or Rolling Thunder, sorry, if he needs to. It's gonna set up the Monkey King really easily as well. If for example, you find a Weaver, go ahead and set up the Wukong's command around him, prepare to Boundless Strike. You know, like it's good setup here, but we've got great counter initiation on the Puck, especially with the silence, on the Clockwork, very annoying. So there's a lot of outplay potential here as well, obviously, from IPG, but I kind of do like like the support duo. Even though normally when I see kind of two quote-unquote redundant supports, I tend not to like it. I think with this lineup, it might work.
What, for IPG particularly?
For Puckchamp, given the Oracle Shadow Demon. Melis, top lane.
Oh, right, I see, because they both can offer safe to something.
Yeah.
Rari will die. Okay, actually good kill for Puckchamp there. Killing Rari for Melis, yeah, you don't get the experience out of that, so it's maybe you could argue it's even, but still off-lane for carry, which is a win for you.
Yep, it's the save. Obviously, Astral, of course, he brings you a much more sort of aggressive playstyle, naturally, given especially in lane with Shadow Poison, right? But, you know, kind of a lot of magic harass in the lane, a saving ability, saving ulti, of course, better for Ducalis here, who might want it for himself now. Unfortunately, only being level 2, he's going to have to rely on the Boundless Strike out from Krelat. They might turn onto Ladan as his battery assault's now over. Jingu Mastery, careful for that courier, but Jingu level 2 should be enough damage to get this kill here with the bonus 70. They've got it.
And this kind of draft by the whale. Astral, careful. There's the Inkswell. Actually stuns both. With a Stroke of Fate, they get a kill onto Astral, and they want to go for Melis as well. Rari trying his best. You do have the Shukuchi still available. Melis in trouble. Shukuchi chasing after him. It's only level 1, or level 2 Shukuchi, sorry. Not good enough just yet. Kaval finds him. You're going to see the cut tree, so they'll know where he's going thanks to that Quelling Blade trail. And the Stroke of Fate misses, which allows Melis to get away alive. Not bad, unless Rari, okay, convinced to this. He is. Melis, ring around the rosy, still with the Aura Corrosion on top of him. We have the Inksoul for extra movement speed. Rari guesses where Melis is, and that Inksoul will be used actually for vision rather than for the damage. Well played. The tendrils actually reach out to you even if they don't see you, so
yep.
Very smart play.
It's kind of like using radar or echolocation or something like that. Supernova, yeah, he's going to be able to fight versus Krelat now. 2 points there, and not only the Atrophy Aura, but the Firestorm as well. Makes that one a little bit difficult for the Monkey King to try and commit for the Jingu. There's a lot of heroes where if you start throwing down your abilities, Monkey King will just keep right-clicking you because he knows I'm going to get Jingu, but versus that man, it's always really scary.
You're going to push it too hard. I was going to add to the point you were saying about the supports earlier for Puckchamp.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that you have a lot of save with a team that pretty much just wants to survive until the late game, it's quite a good combo,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Even if they're redundant. Caval, okay, Stroke of Fate. There's the help from the Weaver. Nice swarm. Astral just needs to run away. Kills the chicken in the process. Astral accepts his death, but in exchange gets the courier.
Yeah, that's super annoying now for Koval, actually, because that had the boots of speed on it, as well as some more regen, so he's not going to have that for another solid minute and a half, realistically.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, especially for a Grimstroke who, with Stroke of Fate. Krelat, again, he's going to be eating a lot of this Firestone damage, gets pushed back by the Cogs, but there's going to be a Boundless Strike into another kill. You can actually now lifesteal off of Supernova pretty easily. He knows there's no Firestorm. What the? Oh, this Hill Troll Summoner is just really angry versus that Catapult. As mid wave here for the wagon, both mid laners are going to get some rotations from their supports, but Desperate's still going to be able to get the rune relatively easily. Both mid laners now at level 6, but Desperate on full HP. That's not really a possible kill for a Puck even with the Dream Coil already.
Surprising how well this has gone for them. Oh, Melis, careful. He's going to die to the Inksoul, yeah. So these lanes have gone quite well for IPG, particularly mid and top, right? Like mid, Desperate should be having a much more advantageous matchup, but because they've kind of pigeonholed the Shadow Demon to his lane, they can't rotate and set up kills for the Puck, which was essentially the idea of the Shadow Demon and the Void Spirit combo. And because of this, then, Askel kind of got away scot-free from the worst part, which is laning phase. Now a bit more aggression by Desperate. But this is difficult because once the mid-game starts, Puck's Dream Coil is much stronger than Desperate's Aether. And so you just catching with the Void Spirit with Dream Coil sets up for your team to get a kill, and you lose the advantage that this matchup has for the Void Spirit.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, let's be honest, Disruption, super annoying. Oh, hold that thought. Askel might be dead here. He's got the Illusory Orb. He's going to have to commit the coil, though, but we're out of mana.
He did not have to commit the coil.
With the Haste Rune?
He did not have to.
With the Haste Rune, you never know. It's a bit spooky. You only got 3 charges left in the raindrops. Look at him go.
Yeah, but he just hasted
the river?
Right? Oh, okay. They kill Caval here in the top lane. Sorry, rather. Lodon takes that rune, and top lane is the fight continuing up there. Yes, it is. Weaver versus Pango, and with some lucky shots, Melis is making this Weaver's life hell. He has Swashbuckle ready as well. Misses, unfortunately. If he had hit that whole Swashbuckle...
Oh, he went for Urn first, by the way.
Rari would have died. He did go for Urn first as opposed to the Falcon Blade.
No. It's around the same mana regen because it gives you the +2 all stats, which is an extra 1.7, or sorry, 0.2. So it's a 1.7 to 1.8 mana regen. The regen's nice, of course. Using it for the offensive mobility might be good here in cases like this. Melis gets off the Swashbuckle before the Phantom connects, but Rari's just too damn fast here. Rolling Thunder going to be used. Is he gonna turn this? He's
Oh.
gonna get some damage done.
Oh, he might be able to kill him. The pinball's good. Oh no, he missed the last hit. The last hit was gonna guarantee a swashbuckle kill.
Ooh, that would have been a pretty sick stroke of fate there. I think he would have had that kill if he hit it on both creeps. I don't know. It's still only level 1. Would have been difficult. Rari's going to still die. Oh, Desperate's here, by the way. Here's Koval now trying to set himself up not to die, but Melis with swashbuckle damage and the Dissemblate, they've got that one pretty easily. I was wondering, I was like, is he going to turn? There's no rotations, and they were coming. I just missed it.
As a Puck, it's a bit difficult particularly, but you do need to just mirror his rotations. You cannot avoid Spirit to these kind of rotations, get so much space for your team, and you do nothing. Because you are very similar as a hero, right? In terms of the tempo and what you want to achieve in the early game. You want to try to put pressure as soon as possible. You're not really accomplishing this. I think partially because Krelad is playing Monkey King, and you're up against Oracle as well. Like, it's not an easy lane to gank, but
No.
you need to do this, because otherwise the enemy team was just going to take your top tower, and you're going to lose the advantage you need in the early.
I think that they thought Desperate was just farming because he actually took a pretty sneaky path on the way up, so he dodges this Observer Ward, which otherwise might scout him if he takes like a really sloppy path up, you know? So
It wasn't that sneaky, but you're right. If he's out of the map, you don't see him at all, you go, well, I can't really guarantee that I can go bot. Also, the
Exactly.
bottom lane is not pushed yet, so you don't
yeah,
use it
they were
appropriately.
probably looking like as soon as they saw Rolling Thunder, is like, all right, is Void Spirit there? No, it's just him. All right, whatever, you know. And then he didn't pay attention until it was far too late, unfortunately. Weaver, though, already with a Javelin up and running, is going to be able to farm.
He's already doing it, though. You see Puck, oh, that bottom? No,
Oh.
they're trying to initiate, yep. There's the Puck going for the Oracle. We do have Dream Call, we do. Dream Call on the 2. No, need just go for the Collis. They now just realize Desperate's joining the fray. Kral's there as well. They're actually going to counter-initiate here with Desperate. The Dream Call onto 2, but a bit later. I mean, they already lost Supernova, and they got a kill on the support for their offlaner. Not too ideal. As in the top lane, the fight continues as well. Weaver trying to turn this into a double kill, but not going to work out for him. Javelin's pretty useful for Weaver, but until you max gem in an attack, you don't really have enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful if you don't get lucky shot, right?
That's another thing. Oh, Astral actually did find the Puck, I want to say.
Yep.
Yes. Ascald, Assimilate, avoided by the phase shift, but that damage from Desperate, just the physical damage is good enough. Oh my god. He actually hits pretty hard. Puck cannot deal with that. Astral in trouble against the hasted Clockwork. Falisa gonna get a counter kill there, but you lost your mid laner. These trades are not beneficial at all for IPG, who might still lose Ladon to the damage of the Astral Step. Wow, that's just that really has nothing to do with the picks, the draft, or even execution. It's just the Puckchamp is committing much more to these engagements and taking better trades off it.
Yeah, another extra 2 kills there off the tail end. I don't think they just were expecting, you know, Puckchamp to contest without having a tier 1 mid lane. Of course, tier 1 bottom, it's rare to see it taken this early, but we've seen it in some games. But that's normally when you have like a Lycan safe lane or something like that, right? Or some insanely good lane. Not the case here, so I think they were like, oh, there's no way they can test their bounties, and here goes Puckchamp yet again, just kind of always being bold and sometimes a little bit brash as well, right? But it works out for them here. We've got now, Ladon with the ulti ready to go. The Remnant's going to try and pull him back, but he's going to still get the hook shot off onto Ducalis as well. Science stuff and killed. Nice 2-man coil as well for the 2 people left behind. Melis down to the river as he's going to be a little bit safe. We still have both Astral Steps for Desperate and the Dissemblate, so he's good to go here. Only picking up the kill onto the Oracle. But that's going to be enough to scare away Puckchamp from really committing to that tower push. Or is it? Even me. They're too bold for me.
Yeah, Puckchamp here, they don't want to overcommit to that kill. They just wanted the tower here, and you know that's all they were going for, trying to put some pressure there. They've created a lot of space for Krelad as well, who's going for a very similar build to the Weaver. As opposed to the Erd, you go for the Corrosion, so one transitionally kind of like aggressive item, and then immediately go for the Maelstrom, which is exactly the Weaver build as well. The Erd is only useful, unfortunately, though, if you get kills, so since Weaver has been kind of passively playing this top lane, it's not a very useful item compared to the Falcon Blade, which would be a bit better. Desperate, trying to get away with the Simulate. Ladon has a hookshot in the second. Also Rocket Flare, but not going to commit it.
He's gone. He's just too far away. The one that got away, you know. But we're getting some damage top lane now from Melis.
If you lose this tower this early, like, how are you going to create map control when you already lack push in general? Unless Rari goes for like a Dezo build, I feel like IPG's at a risk of just not doing enough early mid, especially if they lose this tower.
Okay.
Look, here Monkey's rotating for it because they know how valuable this is.
No, they just can't defend it, unfortunately. They're going to try and set up for a kill mid lane now as they'll plant the ward behind the tower and show the Puck in the mid lane. trying to, you know, aggro some heroes on over to the other side of the map. Underlord, a lot like a Tidehunter, he clears the waves real fast. He's got decent tower damage, to be honest, especially when he gets up more and more, you know, stacks up the atrophy, but he's not the fastest pusher, unfortunately. He's up there, at least in your off lane. He's not bad whatsoever, and he'll be able to demolish that one.
He's better than, say, Timbersaw or Tide, for sure.
Definitely.
The thing, though, with... Oh, actually, in the top lane, Rari. No way! They actually kill him in just about... just a little combo there. Didn't even time-lapse or Shikuchi himself to safety there.
Guys caught him off guard with the Fortune's End.
Yeah.
But don't you... I can't tell... No, you see it if an Oracle's starting to channel it around you, do you not?
No. You don't. You see the Oracle channeling if you see him, but if you don't have vision of him, you don't see it.
Interesting.
And I think he was channeling to the Monkey King as well.
Oh, okay. He was channeling to the Monkey King. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, it'll root, of course, around.
Yeah, exactly.
Good play there.
So the reason, by the way, I'm talking about the towers there is more because IPG in that tower, it's not so much about defending it, but they need to trade that tower for something else. They need to trade that tower for their own tower. But they've unsuccessfully done that, right? They can't take bottom. They can't take mid. Bottom is now a bit, actually fairly hurt. So at least IPG will be able to enlarge the map that way. But the idea is that the less towers are on the map, the more IPG's mobility, like super mobile heroes can be useful.
That's a good point. Yeah. Right now, though, Ladon might be caught here inside the cogs. It's a perfect zone for Melis, but there's going to be the Soulbind now, trapping Melis in his place. He's not really rolling anywhere, instead anchoring Desperate instead. Asgold potentially making the jump in, has the Witchblade now, wanting to show it off, but doesn't want to really elucidate his way in there. He doesn't really know how many supports or how much backup is there. All they know is that there's no Rolling Thunder. Now with Rocket Flare, they'll know exactly what they're fighting into.
I don't know why Penguin has to get so hard countered by that build. So ridiculous. You should at least move in the same direction if possible. Just stay stuck there.
No.
Yeah, you do.
Rolling Thunder, too strong. It needs to be that powerful.
I don't know. Really? It's hard countered by Rupture already. Do you need another ability that also hard counters it?
It's already countered by one thing in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me be uncounterable.
Oh, well, sorry. Have you heard of Great Lord and Savior Morphling? I mean, god damn it, dude. Why does Pango get like infinite counters? Morphling gets what? Ancient Apparition?
And Spirit Vessel. And Scotty. And a couple of other heroes as well.
And by that logic, you just buy BKB against
Careful
Pango.
here, Melis in trouble.
Look how weak he is. He can barely do anything.
He can barely do anything. I can't believe he lives there.
Yeah.
Well, he eats a hook shot as well as an ink spell, and he's still alive.
So tough. What a life Melis leads. Oh, look, Dream Coil, more counters for him. It's just impossible.
He had Yules.
Just impossible.
Didn't want to use it there, unfortunately, to purge off the silence. Maybe it just got delivered.
It's a pretty bad game for Pango, to be honest. It's really difficult.
It's not that fun. No, I mean you got the
kill
roots.
in the bottom lane. Void Spirit's still fighting there. Yeah. They go for the puck and with a double astral and get the kill. Really well done. Is that Orchid that he has? Actually, we'll check in a second as they go for Supernova instead. It is Orchid. Okay. So that Soulburns will kill the puck there. That Orchid's super valuable. Not very common. You don't see it in this region as much. It's actually more popular in North America and South America, but I still like it.
Yeah, I think we've seen it like an Orchid on a DP once. I forget who it was. It was like in the first week of play.
But a DP?
Yeah, for sure. I remember that game very specifically.
Are you sure it was League?
No, maybe it wasn't the DP. I think it was a DK. It was a DK.
Oh, DK, yes.
Yeah. Ladon is going to fall.
You're thinking.
No, I don't know.
We definitely saw Orchid on Konka.
I don't remember.
We also saw an Orchid on DK, but it wasn't the first week. First week was Orchid on Konka.
Uh-oh. Melis, he's in trouble here. He's probably going to end up... Oh, no, he gets off the swashbuckle into the save here.
I think he's going to kill him. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Easy. Bye-bye, Puck. Pango survives. Nobody's really hurt too much. Melis can get away for now alive. You kill the Puck super, super easily in this mid-game. I mean, he's not getting a single Dream Coil onto the Void Spirit, huh?
We haven't even seen a False Promise yet this game.
Not really needed.
That's what I mean, though. Isn't that such a great sign for Puck? Especially because how offensively they're playing, or how much pressure they're putting on, I should say. It's not like they're swearing in Russian, you know? It's so offensive. No. They're like, you know, look at this Monkey King. He's just going to walk right into the triangle and farm some Ancients right now. He doesn't care. They don't have vision here. That's so dangerous. Everyone's alive. There's Dream Coil available and Rocket Flare. Krillot doesn't care.
Yep. By the way, guys, as I noticed this, in case you don't know, the Yule Scepter on Underlord is always picked up when you are against an a defensive dispel. Because if you pick Atos, for example, and you want to root them again, they just can't. They just charge up the Fortune's End. They dispel all the roots. Whereas Yules, if you don't charge up before you're up in the air, you can't do it afterwards, right? You have to have someone nearby. It's much more complicated to dispel.
Yeah, and it's a good item for the Underlord as well. A dispel for himself this game. Yeah, I mean, especially when there's an Orchid available for him. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, since you're up for 2.5 seconds, you're not going to be able to, actually catch the Void Spirit, but you're at least not going to be taken out of the fight for the full silence duration. Yeah, it's a really solid item. I mean,
the point that you made though is you always build it as opposed to Atos. Despite defensive capabilities, which are right, that's another point we made as to why it's a good item in this game. You would never build, say, Atos, for example, if you want catch on Underlord if there's an offensive dispel, especially a false promise. You always have to build yours. It's just how it works.
Underlord in trouble. He tried to get off the ulti. Unfortunately, that's going to be canceled immediately by the Orchid.
No, it was actually he tried to get at Yules and it was canceled immediately by Demonic Purge.
I thought I saw him raise his arms.
He did, and then he used on top of that. But then once the Demonic Purge did that, he was like, well, I mean, the Orchid did cancel it too, but he just kind of accepted death. He did try to use to purge off the silence, and then that's when he lifted it up.
Demonic Purge though is too powerful. Desperate going for another kill. He's got it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's that's kind of just Underlord 101, right? Build Yule Scepter when it's appropriate to.
I'm saying because
in a lot of games,
some people were surprised.
I know, but it's a pretty common pickup, especially.
It's very common, much like the Weaver Urn build. If you've ever seen this, just I don't know, watch more Weaver. Honestly, it's very common. Yeah,
we used to see Urn on Spectre a long time ago, right? And then
before the Meteor Hammer became a thing. Like
and
right
then
before
Meteor
that time.
Hammer. Yeah. It's about stats and regen. Obviously, Orchid here is for the kills. Like pros, they don't see items the same way we do. Normally they see items as what is this going to give me until the enemy gets their next item, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Desperate goes, he probably does the calculation. All right, Orchid's a bit cheaper. I really want to silence this game because the silence is great. Or I can go for Ags. Orchid is cheaper. Orchid will get countered eventually by BKBs and Dispels. How long can I realistically use this? Well, I mean, he's really flexing the hell out of this Orchid, to be honest. I mean, he's 7-0-3, so far so good for him. Whereas if he went for Ags, he'd probably have it around now, maybe 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Ags and Orchid are kind of this. I mean, what, 400 gold away is like very similar prices, but the Orchid does deal more damage, so I would argue that you wouldn't get the same amount of kills. It's better for single target kills as well. I will say as well that, to add to your point, the way that pros see items as well partially is that they each have a role. So for example, if you're a Weaver and you're thinking of your transitional item, which is either Falcon Blade or Urn, you don't see the, say the Urn or the Falcon Blade in the same way that the Void Spirit will see its Orchid, right? Because the Orchid is considered a core item of the Void Spirit. So in many cases, some items which are transitional, there's a lot more variation, particularly in transitional items, which popularly they were always the drums as a transitional item. There's a lot more variation in those kind of items, depending on what you need per game, than in the core items, which I think are a bit more, a bit less flexible.
Oh, I found the Puck again. I heard the Orchid and my.
I mean, but the Puck at this point is just. I mean, I don't know. Should you be dying like this? She hadn't gone for the Yules yet. Now he's finally gone for the Yules.
Well, I mean, it was Witchblade first, right? But by the time the Witchblade was up, the Orchid was up. So it's just, what do you do?
Sure, when you lost the early game this hard, I was expecting that. Well, I guess the Orchid
just
gave really
I mean, you were saying, oh, Puck won this early game though. Remember?
I mean, he did win the lane.
So I think from that logic, it's pretty easy to go for Witchblade, right? I guess they were just kind of on it, not expecting. I mean, this is brilliance. I think from Desperate. I think it's a good move.
No, I agree. I guess you're right. I guess there's not really much you can do. You maybe should have just played more defensively for a while because he's got a lot of free kills on you.
I mean, Diny here is still pretty defensive, but with both tier 1s missing, you are susceptible to those ganks. Unfortunately, Weaver, he's got to get the safe farm, right? That's just the way the game has to be played, unfortunately. Puck, try and phase shift it, try and get away. Sorry.
Need to be the dead laner. I guess you're right.
Exactly. I mean, it just sucks.
Orchid is immediate, right? So there's not much you can do against it. You have no save in your team either. Like, Inkswell can be considered somewhat of a save.
That's a good point. Let's get a ward up here, guys. Right? Let's get a ward. If we're going to put Puck in this top lane and have it be dangerous, at least give him a chance.
To be fair, they did have a ward. He got de-warded.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that sentry over there. I don't know if someone pinged it already, but yeah, that sentry over there de-warded. So they've been de-warded all over the map. Mainly this is what I was worried about in terms of map control, right? The more towers the enemy has alive, and the less towers you have, the more the enemy can just dominate you completely and erase your early mid-game. And now IPG goes, when do we become strong? Like, when are they strong enough any longer to actually beat this matchup? I don't know. if there's even a point of inflection anymore. Because Monkey King versus Weaver is a really Monkey King favorite matchup.
Yeah, it is. Weaver just, you know, known for his physical damage.
Yeah.
Monkey King known for his bonus, what, 75 armor in here?
No,
What is it? 24. Okay.
75 is with the extra talent.
That's right, that's right.
125, actually. I think it's 100 extra armor. Caval, okay, this ultimate by Underlord is fine, but they kill Caval, so... Like I said, fine. Nothing to call home about.
No. I mean, at least it's not your Weaver dying there. Weaver actually is going to be able to scout the Monkey King. Just wants to continue his farm. Who have they caught here? Ladan. Unable to actually follow up on the kill there. What's going on about? Oh, yeah. Isn't it a little bit less? Because it used to... Oh, hold on. Ladan, wow. What a move. But Desperate, it might pay for this one. Yule stepped it up.
So
he's going to be caught here again by the second route, which is why you build it. And Desperate, and he's going to be fine. Gem of True Sight on this guy, by the way, so they're really kind of going all in this early.
Yeah, they want to go for Supernova as well. Rari instead. Okay, Rari trying to win the Shukuchi. Good pit of Malice. Desperate's forced to use the big KB. Doesn't want to lose the gem for free. All right, not probably one of the better team fights we've seen from IPG.
It is 200 armor. Holy moly.
Oh, 200, yeah, not even 100.
I thought it was 100 before it got before Ice Frog nerfed all talents.
I mean, still that talent's never picked up though.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Astral, there's the Remnant, trying to save his life. Astral's still dead though, and then lose the Oracle as well. Bad positioning here for the supports. Puckchamp is now in trouble as the rest of IPG want to go for more. They want to kill the Monkey King at least once, if not twice. I think they can set up for twice, but the Rolling Thunder is still available. They're going to counter-initiate here with Melis. Okay, the silence, the Puck. They get him with the Orchid. Can he die in this time? Yes, he can. The Yule Scepter might just save his life, but the Rolling Thunder times it perfectly. And he's going to go down as the Monkey King activates the BKB. Chase after the Underlord. The juicy kill is going to be easy for Kurlat as that BKB makes him pretty much invulnerable to damage. In the backlines, they're going for more as well. Weaver does manage to get a counter kill here, but at the cost of Mei's life. They already killed the support. They're going for Ladon instead. Much easier kill here. They see Rari. They don't have the Orchid just yet, though. Rari has missed out the Yule Scepter. They missed the Aether Remnant, however, and the Boundless Strike also misses, putting Melis in a difficult position. He might just go down. The last bit of damage is going to be sufficient. In exchange, look at Ladon. But that's not going to be what they're looking for. With the Orchid, they do stop the Weaver.
Weaver's dead.
They actually kill him thanks to that stun. And the soul burn damage manages to guarantee them the kill.
Yeah, that was a nice play by IPG initially. Ladan +1, I think, was the Underlord run on over because they know, well, if the Oracle buys back and they're fighting near the outpost, obviously he's going to TP to the outpost. So they were already there for him. They do end up getting the dieback on him, and they force the self-false promise while still getting the kill. But that means that they kind of just fall apart elsewhere. The Puck, like we said, pretty heavily countered. Now has this Yule Scepter at least up and running, but still in a very difficult position here in terms of actually being able to get off their abilities in the team fight. As Rari's got the Wukong's command ready again. He's going to go for this kill on a Supernova. Got now even the Demonic Purge onto him. Will they have the damage in time? Yes, they will. Puckchamp as well. Krulap uses his BKB because he really wanted that one. Mage Slayer, not an item we see every day. That's a fun one.
I like it. I think it's on a lot of agility carries that one traditional item would usually pick up the Visual Blade.
Great disruption.
That's a really good disruption. Can they save him though? He has BKB. Yeah, he's really fine. There's no Ags and Pluck. But instead, the Oracle's going to die. Krillot, though, getting a counter kill on Cabal. Support for support. Orchid again, so valuable. Weaver still's been silenced. Soulburn, not enough damage. Timelapse does manage to get Rari back to safety. Wants to continue fighting this Krillot in trouble. He actually quite low on HP, but Krillot just wants to reach him back up. Rolling Thunder doesn't quite catch up to Rari. Instead, his Astral gets that kill, and Melis wants to go for the Puck as well. Misses that stun. Astral with a disruption. Melis missed the second stun, but the Aether Remnant will not catch up to the Puck just yet. He has phase shifted himself, so he could jaunt himself away.
Yep, and finally Ladon is going to die. Ran around a lot there, kind of confusing Melis, breaking the Pangalier's ankles just a little bit there. Our little spiky anteater. And good fight again here from Puckchamp to kick that one off, taking out the Underlord. So by the time they're starting that engagement, even though IPG are just looking for a quick counter kill, lo and behold, it's a 4v5 fight. The Oracle was taken out pretty quickly, but that time around they were more prepared to fight around this really weird choke point. Yep. Last time, you know, in the last team fight that we fought here, you said bad position by the supports. This time they learned. Askel, though, he's not learned. Silenced up. Yule Scepter set up, though, unfortunately, for the Aether Remnant, and he is going to be killed. That's kind of the crappy part about going for the this game is Desperate didn't build one, so you just kind of set him up for the Aether Remnant.
They go for the Axe now, so it's like, all right, you want to Yules yourself? Don't worry, you got 2 more silences.
We're going to have a full barrage of silences here for them. Who's the gem on, by the way? Where did this gem go? Did they put it back in the fountain or something?
I don't know. They had a gem for sure.
For sure, right? I'm not going crazy. It wasn't Orb of Corrosion?
It was, no, it was on Krilla. It's on Desperate, dude. the Void Spirit.
It was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was actually the exact same position.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what? All right, Ducala's forced to use the ulti, but it's bait. Rari, though, they don't have a follow-up stun. He's free to leave. Ladan just walks outside. But Koval is in trouble. He did. Supernova, though, is going to call the taxi away, so he's going to be able to escape. Right now, though, Koval, they will catch him with an 8th Remnant. He's the only one to die out of this one. But again, Puckchamp, they keep taking these fights. 4v5 fight. 4v5 fight here again. Right now, Puck just respawning, and Puck is actually under vision, so I think Puckchamp are just going to fight again here if they can force it.
Yeah, why not, right? You already had the roll-up on the Pangolier, so he's no longer afraid of the Dream Coil, stopping his Rolling Thunder. That's a big deal, actually. He's actually no longer afraid of the Inner Road either. He just has a lot of security here, so he can just walk in and like, go crazy, honestly. Puckchamp has a pretty big lead in the early. Hook shot, though. This could turn these things around. Maybe. I mean, a kill on Monkey would be super valuable, but the BK makes this impossible. And there's Ladan dying. As Monkey chase after Ascold. Ascold, the target. We don't have Balance Strike right now, which blade does slow him down. Swashbuckle actually guessed exactly what Ascold was going to jaunt to, but wasn't enough damage. Desperate instead, just trying to go for the kill here on the Underlord. Silence not going to last too long. They settle for Cabal, and I settle support here.
Wait, Puck is here? Okay.
And Millis tried to stun him with a roll-up. That's not how it works. You need to be pushed for that. Desperate instead dies to the Balance Strike, and
Weaver's cutting waves. Rari's just trying his best here. I mean, he's like, well, our side of the map is a death trap. Puckchamp, they don't...
Yeah, but for sure you're not going to win the game.
I mean, right now, though, Puckchamp, they're playing like their own side of the map is lava, right? They've been on IPG's half for, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, it feels like, which is kind of incredible because we're only 30 minutes into the game already. This Mage Slayer, again, it's an interesting pickup.
I was mentioning, yeah, it's a good substitute for people that like building Echo Saber or Diffusal Blade, that kind of transitional item. It's really useful. Gives you the same amount of agility as Diffusal Blade, a bit more damage, a bit more tankability in general, right? So it's pretty solid. I like it on heroes like Monkey King, Weaver, Slark actually can consider it as well.
We've seen it on a Sniper mid as well.
I've loved that actually.
Yeah.
That was,
so have I.
Well, it was actually IPG that run it, right?
I believe it was, because I remember it was a Sniper mid versus an Invoker mid. Yeah. And it actually was pretty useful.
And they ran it twice with the same build as well.
That's correct, against 2 different teams as I recall.
Yes, it was 2 different teams. Well, yeah, because you only play one team once, right?
Yeah, but like, you know, you play them up to 3 games, right? Maybe they pick the same matchup, right? But
yeah.
I'm just saying because, you know, I mean, the matches are pretty far apart, right? So it wasn't just like a one-day thing, we'll have fun with it today. It was, this is a legit strat, right?
Yeah, it was all like 2 weeks apart or so.
Yeah, something like that. Rari, they've got vision on him here. They're actually going to connect on the 8th. The Remnant taunted up and killed. Dead for 74 seconds. Roshan's going to be up in half of that here in just about 45. As where's that second kill? Oh, Ladan, he got caught as well. Puckchamp, they just, once they see someone, it's like target acquired. They're just locked on. It's kind of like, I feel like the best word I could use. 14K up now, 30 minutes into the game. You can tell these guys want to be in the upper division here because a win in this game and then a win in another game here within 3 is going to then net them and punch their ticket to the upper division. They don't want to play no qualifier or no tiebreakers.
Yep. Exactly. They just want to straight up win, and honestly, they're looking much stronger than their opponents right now. But granted, IPG's lineup was just really difficult to execute.
Yeah.
You had like an early game lineup with no push. Now you're in the point where you're like, well, what do we do to make this map bigger? Like we really they have no way of taking advantage of the Weaver's early game potential because the Void Spirit was such a dominant force. I would say for game number 2, just ban the Void Spirit, please.
Yeah, Koval's going to get killed by Krelat as there goes Supernova. He'll pop as well to the dissimulate of Supernova. Sorry, of Desperate. I was going to say, though, it feels like we're kind of building all of the, what are these called? They're not called unique attack modifiers anymore. They're called whatever.
I still call them orb effects, so I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. So they're called orb effects, unique attack modifiers, whatever you want to call them. Seems like he's building all of them. I remember once I played a turbo game on Pango where I built everything. Diffusal, Basher,
yeah, but the thing is, a
Monkey,
because of his unique interactions, they don't all work on him. So, for example, Basher does not work on the statues.
No. Echo Saber famously doesn't work anymore.
No, true, which was a huge nerf. Mage Slayer does, though, and so does Maelstrom. So, it's
and probably Orb of Corrosion?
Yeah, it just does.
Probably, right? Because Deso works, so.
It does, yeah. Or Corrosion works on a lot of things that shouldn't work on, by the way. That, like, for example, Blightstone does not work on. It's a whole mistake of Aura Corrosion.
It's a mistake.
Well, because they made it affect towers, and they were like, should we really have an Orb Venom that can affect buildings? Whatever, just code it in.
That's 3 damage, it's fine.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, so many interactions were based on not being able to affect towers.
Man, these HP bar of Roshan's getting nice and full as well. Lots of numbers. There's like a black hole exploding right here.
I love the new Mage Slayer cosmetic.
Oh, they're trying to fight
really
this.
Cool. I mean, why not, right? You just Roaring Thunder, BKB, Puck's dead.
Puck's dead.
That's it. That's Puckchamp.
Ladon, though, is going to jump onto Ducalis. Yeah, but Krelat, he's got the full Abyssal, able to turn that one immediately. Supernova is left standing along with the Weaver. They're still chasing down Weaver, actually, as he's popped his own BKB. Will be able to get off the time-lapse just barely, as they are chasing after him with a little root.
You can't disjoint the Fortune's End.
Nope, it's following you to your death here, and Rari, that might be sooner than you think. He's going to turn around, try and fight, dust it up, though, and kill. Desperate now beyond godlike. Dropping the voice lines as well is going to be Melis, and they can simply just go back and finish up the Roche. Aegis and Cheese #2. No buybacks on any of these IPG heroes. They're up 22K. I think I just reckon they might be able to take this first game here.
Yep, they'll try a bit harder next time is one of the most infuriating lines in the game. It's up there with Busted from Arc Warden, which is also disgustingly stupid.
Trying to think of any other good ones.
There's a lot of lines that are just really
a lot of good ones. I like
Spectre has a couple ones that are pretty bad as well. The one word lines, which is just mean.
The what from Earth Spirit is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Oh, Abyssal Blade, right. Oh, no, the damage is too high. But the hook shot to counter-initiate, that's going to allow Puck to live a bit longer. Rooted up, but does get the Force Staff away. Big stun here, but now Desperate pops the BKB.
They mistimed the shield, though. They could have actually killed the Puck.
LS, he's in the base, but for now he's going to blink back defensively as he swashbuckled his way up, and we're just going to regen and then push here in a couple more minutes, or a couple more seconds maybe. I don't know about minutes. I don't know if IPG have got that long to live. For now, they're going to set their sights on this tier 2 down bottom. Yep. Orchid going into that's Octarine Core now.
Why not? Right?
It's good for charge-based heroes, right? It does reduce the cooldown, even though it's not reflected in the... It's like for charge-based things, it doesn't look like it is, but it is. It is.
Well, it does affect the cooldown for charge-based things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It used to be broken for a while.
Yeah, where it didn't work. I think there's still some charge-based effects that don't get changed by it. Like, for example, Shrapnel's been bugged for forever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. It used to be bugged on Earth Spirit for forever after Quickening Charm got added in.
Shrapnel and the Shards, I think, are some spells that get really bugged.
Koval, he's going to be scouted. Krelat, he knows where he is. He just doesn't have detection. That's the problem. But right now, a hook shot's going to distract them because that's going to be on to 1. But immediately they have the disruption. Trying to get out of here already is Supernova. He knows this fight's not destined for greatness, but Rari's going to be left behind. They nearly get the kill on the Underlord as well in between. It's getting me all choked up here as Rari, he needs to run. The poor Ant's just running from the Anteater. He's hungry. He wants dinner, and he's got it. Ding, ding, ding is going to ring his bell now, but Rari looking to continue to run away is going to be silenced. Has to just face the music now. Down he goes. Desperate still beyond God, like 14-0 and 14. My goodness. What a kill score this time around for Puckchamp. But IPG, they're not giving it up yet.
For this old reference, though, I gotta say, just because pangoliers do eat ants, they're not ant-eaters.
Well, they're referred to as scaly anteaters.
Yeah, but they're different things, though. Just for people
okay,
not to be racist.
Yeah, but they're referred to as scaly anteaters, though.
Yeah, but can we really say that about
yes,
animals?
Yes, they can, because I have got a friend who has a doctorate studying anteaters in Hong Kong. She filmed this very adorable video. Did you know anteaters, they hang on, they latch onto their mother's tails when they run around? It's so adorable. It is.
What, pangoliers?
Yeah, or pangolins, sorry, not pangoliers. Pangoliers, instead what they do is they show up to your girlfriend's house with a rose, and, you know, it's the whole thing. Uh-oh, jump on in from Ladon, on to Krelat, continue to try and fight. Big old pipe barrier onto everything, but that's not going to save the life of Underlord.
TIL, I'm Pangolier. Anyway, they're going to go here for the Puck as well, which at this point, Puck, honestly,
yeah,
he has not had a game. Dude.
No. I mean, it feels so bad, right? We've got the Blink Dagger now, but even then, it's so hard to use it because you need to dispel the silence with the Yules, but then when you come down, there's just 4 stuns waiting for you. Could you imagine being at the top of that cyclone there as the Puck looking down on everything that's waiting for you there?
Yeah, you're like, well, I guess I'm going to die again. How many deaths does he have this game?
It's going to be up to 8.
Oh, 8 deaths.
I'll press Q. There you go.
Oh my goodness. On a Puck, dude. 2-8 and 2. Oh, wow. When both your kills and your assists are the cubic root of your deaths, you're not doing well.
The cubed root of your death. My goodness.
I mean, it's true, though.
My goodness.
Hey. Sorry, you don't have a degree.
Hey, as the limit of your death approaches the asymptote here of the slope, y equals e
Why do
to the
Americans
n.
think calculus is like the hardest thing? It's really limits are like some basic high school shit.
Well, I wasn't saying it was that complicated. My goodness, look at this guy. making fun of people that don't know calculus, saying it's high school stuff, but to Krelat, killing Ladan is high school stuff. That's got to be at least his 7th or 8th kill right now on the Ladan. He's going to buy back, though, as Rari is going to have to dodge the Rolling Thunder of Melis, who is gone for the Swashbuckle cooldown talents here at 25.
Yeah, nobody takes the Rolling Thunder talent anymore because they're like, wait, Rolling Thunder already has a really low cooldown anyway. Nice hook shot, but Supernova's still dead, and they killed Ladan as well. Just call it GG, guys. Like, this game has been lost for a while.
Yeah, it's they're about one fight away from fountain diving here. This could be the one as Krelat is going to get up the time lapse. Didn't have to use the BKB either. And he's going to look to get a little bit more damage in as Koval, yep, he's in the fountain already, but there's going to be our puck in some trouble. Krelat nearly dying, but of course, second, maybe third false promise of the game, let's be honest. But Krelat's still going to pick up another kill here, finds the bash as well. On to Rari, down he goes. There's the GG. Beep, beep.
To be honest, I think the most tilting Pango line is actually Was that intentional? It looked intentional.
Yeah.
I think that one is one of the most annoying lines.
It's another good one as we get all the Monkey Kings to celebrate their victory.
Of course, I forgot that. And lag all of our Dotas.
Lag all of the entire game. Yeah, indeed. Oh, yeah, tough game.
Honestly, we said it from the draft. The lineup for IPG was possible to execute, but it was really difficult to execute. It was not. It was a tall order this game. And once I saw the early game not going their way, right? Once we saw that, it was like, oh, okay, early game is kind of going the way of Puckchamp, right? It was just over, honestly. Desperate played a much better game than Ascold. He's died 0 times, just insane.
So did Krelat.
So did Krelat. But in the case of Desperate, what's insane is that he died 0 times, and the equally as hard to kill Puck, right? Equally as immortal Puck died the whole 9 times, right? So the difference between the mid lane was huge. You had no space creator, therefore Weaver could never get online. And the whole point of Weaver is not that you're like an early game carry in the same sense as, say, Ursa or Troll, where you can really fight with some early game peaks. It's much more that Weaver is capable of fighting from minute 1, getting farm from the team fights, not needing to really farm or free farm at any point in the game, realistically.
Yeah.
Because you farm so quickly. And so you fight 5 versus 4 when the enemy team is still trying to get their carry online. However, if they kill your Puck and they murder him in cold blood in the beginning of each engagement, then, well, it's still then it's a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, a lot of the fights as well started off 4v5 in favor of Puckchamp simply because they just weren't expecting them to go for more, but Puckchamp just realizing, no, we can get a couple more kills here, a couple more kills here, and that really snowballed into a 52-14 victory here in favor of Puckchamp, and that'll be game number 1. You can tell these guys, they're ready for the upper division. They want your Spirits, they want your Navis, they want your Virtus.Pro proper, not your Virtus.Pro.Prodigy, and your ASM Gambit, not your Gambit 2, so they're not here for that.
Yep, that's why. So Puckchamp, if they win this series, they will manage to qualify in the upper division. But if they lose, they'll have to play a tiebreaker versus Hellraisers. For those of you who don't know, right? So they're really itching for that 2-1 or 2-0 victory. Let's see if they can accomplish it next game, or if IPG can give them a real run for their money in Game 2 of the series. You're watching the lower division of the Eastern European DPC League. L Plus, Seek and Strike, and we'll come back in 10 minutes with game number 2 of the series.
Yep, we'll see you then.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
You ready? Huh? Hey, boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Hello guys and welcome back. We are Richie. Did you just let go of the wheel in the middle of the highway?
You said a really great joke and I had to start clapping.
No, don't let go of the wheel. That truck is looking right at us. That truck wants to ram us. The moment you let go of that wheel, he's gonna. Because obviously, when you stop using the wheel, then the car stops.
No. That's not Viking GG Aramis. Anyway, we got a draft underway.
He's gonna ram us.
My puns are awful. But you know what? My casting is not that bad usually. So let's go ahead and get underway with our second draft between IPG and Puckchamp. Puckchamp, with this win, ladies and gentlemen, it's important. So I'm looking into the camera. They are going to be getting into the upper division if they win. Confirmed 100%. So Puckchamp playing for this win. IPG, they're already qualified for Season 2, but they could force some tiebreakers here. Let's see as we get underway with our draft.
I think if we continue with these puns, I'm going to start making a prediction about your puns rather than about the games. Because the games...
I mean, the
games are looking a bit one-sided right now, but the puns now, how many stupid puns
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, is you're not that bad of an analyst. Your analyst is pretty okay sometimes, Sometimes,
I would disagree with that.
Sometimes you're like, he's quoted stats and all these made-up figures and, talking about win rates.
I don't make up
That's all fake, No one, meanwhile, I'm talking about, like, how many legs Coddle has, and do those 2 legs on his that are not touching the ground, do they count as legs? Like, that's my kind of analysis, whereas you talk about win rates and stuff like that. But
what is surprising to me is how short Coddle is.
But the problem is that you're going to be so much better at knowing, because you're just so good. I make so many dumb jokes that you just know when they're coming. So you're going to be like 10K at knowing when my puns are coming. But for the analysis, you're like, I don't know, 300 MMR maybe?
That's being generous. That's
on a good day.
That's how pros see me sometimes. Like, he made one comment that was correct the whole game. That's all right. I like this caster. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, IPG, they start out with a Puck and the Earth Spirit as their picks. Puckchamp go for the Coddle Mars. The Coddle pick has been a favorite of Puckchamp for a while, usually paired with the Bristleback. We see immediately the ban of the Bristleback IPG, makes perfect sense. But Coddle really suits Puckchamp's explosive playstyle, right? They like the mid-game, they like to be oppressive. Coddle is fantastic at doing so with his recall. It has been used effectively by Liquid as well. So Puckchamp has a... I mean, I wouldn't say that Puckchamp is as early game oriented as Liquid, but they do have a similar idea in the terms of, like, they want to choke you to death, right?
Yeah.
Like a very kinky partner. They just want to choke you to death. And that's the idea.
I think that I think that Brame as well I would put up there. If you get Stomanin or Spartan on the Coddle, they will like buy Blink Daggers and use recall so aggressively. It's really amazing.
Yeah, but I would say that Brame's general style doesn't always... I mean, Brame's style's all over the place.
It is, and that's why it's so fun to watch.
Whereas Liquid style is like, all right, I can totally imagine, or I can totally see why you like guys like Coddle, right? Similarly with Puckchamp, I feel like this suits their normal style as well.
I did want to say one thing that's actual real analysis here, though. Puckchamp... All right, never mind. I was going to say, with the Coddle, you can't really run the Wisp, but you can, I guess. It's a good thing that I didn't get to say it, because now, obviously it was a joke, because Puckchamp, they're going to run...
the Wisp 5.
Yeah, they're going to run the Wisp core.
Sorry, the Wisp 1, sorry.
Krelat Wisp, he loves playing this hero. I think this is something that they just really enjoy playing.
Yeah.
So I think he's like gold tier on Wisp, and of course Krelat. He's
probably
probably
scary.
Well, yeah, so he's playing it a lot in pubs, probably on the carry role. So this means it'll probably be a Coddle 4, and then we're gonna want to go for either a Tusk or a DP or an ABBA to pair with it.
Yes.
I think Tusk is generally the best, especially versus an Earth Spirit.
The best offensive one is Tusk, but ABBA is the best mid-game hero. Like, if you pick an ABBA, he's much more useful towards the mid-game, even if your laning stage is not as good, and the laning stage is still fine. I like the ABBA best, actually, out of the 3 of them. More than the Tusk, even, because I think Tusk is a bit dependent on, can we take advantage of this lane?
Yeah.
Right? Whereas in the mid-game, you're okay with the Tusk 5, but it's not ideal.
I kind of like the Tusk 5 a little bit better right now, just because versus the Puck and the Maiden, you do need a little bit of extra lockdown, right?
That's a point
I mean, generally speaking, 100% I agree with you, Abo. But in this game, specifically of Dota, I do prefer the Tusk slightly more.
Yes, if we're playing Here's the Storm, that's when Tusk is not as great.
Absolutely. But, okay, the PA pick.
DK is, though, another point that you were trying to make, though, or the point that you're making, like, you need a bit more lockdown, especially because you have Coddle and Io as 2 of your heroes. No lockdown provided by them. DK brings a lot of solid lockdown, which is fantastic because Mars is great lockdown. The problem is that the Spear is not the easiest to hit. So Dragon Tail will set up for that spear really, really easily. And that means that the Mars doesn't have to go for Yule Scepter, and that's great because Yule Scepter against Puck sucks. You just set up for his Phase Shift and for his Illusory Orb, and you feel so stupid from even trying to spear him. Right, so it's much better to go for the Blink Dagger this game.
Yeah, exactly. Blink Dagger actually for both Mars and DK alike, I would say, versus a PA, Maiden, or Spirit. Like this is a team that if IPG jump you, I think you're going to have a really tough time trying to, like, you know, assemble a defense and rally the troops and get into formation and push them back, right? Whereas if you can jump them, IPG, they're kind of made for initiating right now, right? Maiden's nice to have if you're getting dived because she can just pop the ulti and then it forces a stun. But right now with the DK and the Mars, you have at least got one backup stun, so you can always kind of, you know, choose to just silence her, take her out real quick. That's why I still kind of like the idea of the Tusk, right? Because the Abba, he needs 4 right clicks versus the Maiden, which is going to be bad to silence.
Interesting, man. The troll. So I think it's a Wisp 5. I don't know if this is like a.
I think they just. I mean, because you can flex the Wisp. I mean, they do Ducalis as well. He actually Wisp is one of his favorite heroes, and I think it's just really
it matters because Krelad wants to play.
No, of course, right? Because Krelad. I mean, unfortunately, the carry gets what they want right now in Dota, right? That's kind of the meta.
Because I'd say that Wisp is a pretty strong hero against PA, to be honest, as a core, I mean, right? Because you deal mostly magical damage, right? You're not really phased by PA's burst onto you, because you're also saving one of your supports, so PA can't destroy your backlines before going for you.
You're super fast, and PA needs to Phantom Strike you, and
which means no escape.
Well, not only that, right, but if she daggers you, it doesn't matter, because Wisp copies his tether move speed from his, in this case, if it's Krelad Wisp, the Gobold, which is going to be moving at 570 move speed, right? So you're not going to be slow, so PA is going to be really having a hard time keeping up with you. I completely agree with you, by the way. I
usually don't like the carry Wisp, but I think this game's actually a pretty solid carry Wisp game.
I completely agree.
And there we go.
There's the Abba. All right, they're going to run the Abba. Personally,
they agree with me in the idea that, like, yes, Tusk might be good against this lineup, but the Abba is just so useful in the mid game. And the spell, honestly, this game against Magnetize, Frostbite, Waning Rift is so good. Yeah. So I understand the point of the Abba. I think it's a really solid pick.
I also think it's a solid pick. I think you've solved your lockdown issues slightly with the DK. I think you're going to struggle a bit for your catch. Solar Bind is pretty damn good, to be honest, especially versus your Earth Spirit.
I think it's PA as well, actually.
Yeah, it ain't bad. It ain't bad. But I think we're going to have a little bit of a tough time here. It may, like, if we pick a pretty elusive hero here for IPG, what do they need? They need an offlaner, not too many offlaners elusive. I don't know, for example, like a Pangolier, right? You got nothing to hold him down.
Well, I actually like the Pangolier.
You know, that's a really big glaring weakness I see.
It's not something that Supernova has played a bunch, though. But it's a good pick.
Same kind of deal with the Furion, though. We hunt a Furion slightly better, I will say, especially with the Mars. You can break a bunch of trees and find the spear.
We hunt a Furion as in, like, we as a Puckchamp?
I'm like the royal we, right? What do you
cast them so much, you feel you're part of the team.
Well, I've also casted a lot of Team Tequila or IPG.
Is the Puckchamp Twitter person listening to this? Can you make a clip of this?
I'm just...
Seeking feels like he's part of you guys. That's so adorable.
No. I just do this from time to time in the draft, because right now I'm analyzing this from Puckchamp's perspective, right?
I've casted so many games with this guy, I've never heard them use this ever.
This is not
the
true.
First time he's had such
You just normally tune me out.
This is the first time he's had such a real connection with a team.
Or you're just reading chat.
Uses we.
Or you just read chat normally. No, but for Puckchamp, they hunt the Furion fairly well, though, of course, with the Mars and the Wisp as well, as they can get those spirits to try and locate him in the trees. Wisp, of course, can just break out of Sprout very easily just by reusing Tether.
Like, this whole draft is not good against Wisp core.
It's really not. I think
Puck is decent against it.
I think they were expecting an Abba core, to be honest. I think they were really expecting the Abba core here. And that's not going to be, of course, what Puckchamp are known for. They're known for you picking a Wisp first phase along with, like, I don't know, a Gyrocopter, and then they'll run the Gyrocopter position 4 in the core Wisp. It's great. And I'm really... Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a really good Wisp draft. I think, again, they might... If they end up losing, like, maybe mid pretty hard, they are going to run into a bit of difficulties. Oh, but you shouldn't, because it's DK versus Puck, and DK doesn't lose that lane. Yeah, I don't know. IPG, again, they got a lot of mobility, and we don't have too many stuns. We've got 2 stuns and a silence that you need 4 hits on, and it's not a core Abba, it's a support Abba, so that's not guaranteed. Maybe this game, if there's a game for it, because honestly, I think the Shard is super weak on Abba, but if there's a game to try it, I think it's this one.
Prepare for battle.
It gives you, it adds 1 stack of Curse of Avernus with Mist Coil and Aphotic Shield.
I agree. I don't think the shard is that weak though. Actually, when I first saw the shard, I was like, this is a B tier shard generally.
Interesting.
I can see a lot of situations where that shard's particularly useful.
Can we put a benchmark? Obviously, Earthshaker is still an S tier shard. S tier shard.
Yeah, S tier shard.
S tier shard. I'm Sean Connery. Rest in peace. But what was I gonna go on? Oh, like what is Voodoo Switcheroo to you? Like, there's one we can judge it on. Like, that's another support shard, right?
I think Voodoo Switcheroo is also B tier.
Okay.
I will put it on the same idea as Abaddon.
I would give Abaddon a B-, but I want to hear your reasons.
Well, the reasoning, or how I regard B tier is that in most games, it's going to be kind of a useful shard, but usually not worth the gold.
Okay.
Ladon, sorry. He's going to die to Illuminate. Yeah. So I would put like B tier is like, okay, most games useful, but usually you don't have the gold, mostly for supports. C tier is like, not useful, don't buy generally, like only for memes or specific builds. And then D tier, I'd be like, if you're buying it, you're trolling.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a very... What, I'm guessing
very few
you got straight A's in high school, right? Because for me, C tier is like, yeah, it's not bad, you know?
I actually did.
You could tell he was like, B team, it is
GPA.
okay. Only if you really need to, if you're having a tough time, you know, maybe B is okay, but only one. A C tier, you're kicked out. I'm reporting you.
Yeah, it's funny because then in uni that I learned C's are good, guys.
C's are good. C's are good. Okay.
Especially when you're drunk.
Hey,
in class.
study for your classes if you're still in school, by the way. Don't listen to us. Don't become Dota casters.
I passed my uni. What are you talking about? I even got a first in my uni.
That's fake. I don't know what that means.
That's like
okay, but let's keep talking about this. We got off track a little bit.
Right, yeah, so why the Abaddon is pretty good, why I like the shard, is because I don't know if you remember there was a time where Abaddon support was, actually it was a while ago, because he kind of resurged in Abaddon support popularity, right, after they kind of nerfed his Mistcoil. And the reason he resurged was that Dubu found out there was a really interesting build where you actually maxed the Mistcoil, right? And you only took 2 points of Aphotic Shield, and you used the Mistcoil to burst your own Aphotic Shield, right? So you would rush at people, and then you just use the combo, right? I think that combo can still be viable today with Shard if you need that kind of thing, because that is 2 stacks of the Curse of Avernus, plus, say, 2 hits. Honestly, not that hard to do, right, on Abaddon. Or an extra Mistcoil or whatever it is, right? And you already get the slow on top of that, so it's pretty useful. I think it's a Shard that can be considered if you lack the catch. And the extra movement speed reduction on the shard is no joke, honestly.
Yeah, 10% base move speed is pretty damn good.
Extra 10% slow, right? On top of the already Curse of Avernus slow.
Yep.
And the fact that Aphotic Shield actually provides a slow when it explodes, pretty big deal. So a consideration, especially with a hero like Io, right?
It's that gets added to the basic slow, by the way, so that's why I mentioned it, right? Because now it's going to be a 35% slow with 1 auto attack, which is pretty big. 25% slow is annoying enough. Just ask Supernova, who's going to have to TP away, because look at the damage they've got. And he's going to have to TP all the way back home. Of course, given that the fact he's a Furion, he'll be back anyway. In fact, he wanted to make a quick pit stop, pick up a little bit more regen. He's got the Blightstone active already. One thing that I do want to point out this game is Koval. I think it's a bold move going for the Orb of Venom in this lane on the Earth Spirit. I think I would have preferred to see Boots.
Yeah, me too. Or even Winlace.
Yeah,
like worst case Winlace.
Even Winlace.
If you don't want to commit your full gold, I think the Orb Venom is questionable.
Then again, I could see the point, right? Because obviously you're going to start Blightstone on the Fury, and you got to take advantage of his great auto attack range, his damage, and with the minus armor. So I could see it, but I think that's a bit hopeful given how strong this dual lane really is of Wisp and Abba.
Yep.
Right?
I really like the starting item on Abba as well. I think his Orb Venom is much more justified.
Agreed.
And I think that Orb of Corrosion is a great item this lane, particularly for Abba. As an Abba 5, the great thing about the Shard and why I would put it B tier above, say, other Shards that might be, like, for example, I would put it at the same level as Witch Doctor because an Abba 5 really does not need a single item. Whereas Witch Doctor 5 does need 1 or 2 items. As an Abba 5, you used to just build mech because you could afford to, right? Because you were like, well, what else do I build in this hero? That's why I think they Shard because they're more valuable in some games. Because you're like, well, I don't have anything else to build, really. I think this game is one of them. We're like, well, what do you need? Orb of Corrosion? Medallion?
I'd say probably Force Glimmer.
Really? I think you're thinking way too
I think, or maybe a Ghost
I like
Scepter.
Solar Crest much better this game.
I mean, I guess you are playing Abba, so not a Glimmer seems like a kind of a baby item to build your Abba, right? Get in there, use your ulti.
I think Force Stuff is justified because I will never shy away of Force Stuff, right? I think this game, I'm thinking more like Medallion, maybe not even the The Solo Crest, just Medallion, right?
I
the
like
Vlad's is good too.
I like the idea of the Force Staff, to be honest, because this game, obviously,
Yeah, Force Staff is good.
during the lane, yes, he's going to be tethered to the hip quite literally at all times versus the Wisp. But as soon as we... Oh, there's a TP mid because they're diving.
Oh, Desperate. Oh, fair amount of damage. He's a DK.
He's a DK. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, right? He's got 2 points of Dragon's Blood, and this is a big nuke, by the way.
2 points in Breathe Fire, though. Huh?
Boulder Smash level 2 is a lot of damage. It's 170, and that slow is super obnoxious, but, you know, with Dragon's Blood, he just shrugs it off.
So when DK is allowed to go for the 2-1-2 build, I think that's when you know he has a really good lane. And I think this game is going to be the case, right? If the next point is in Dragon Tail, we'll see now. Very curious about this. No!
Oh, they're fighting
We need
down
to watch
here.
Astral die.
Astral likely to fall here yet
But
again.
he's Caudal. How is he even dying?
He gives a bit of mana, though, and
There we
that's going to
go.
allow
He's Caudal.
Rari to help him out. Nice job, but Rari cuts down the tree. Unfortunately, apparently you can't get...
What?
What?
Phantom Strike? He still got it in the middle of the spear range. That was a huge range for Phantom Strike. Sure enough, being able to do that.
He's going to die.
Yeah, the Phantom definitely strikes, but you die anyway. And that was a really aggressive play. I don't know how he got the Phantom Strike with that much range, to be honest.
Can
That's
you
pretty
can you
ridiculous.
not pin people to like these?
No.
Oh.
No. Pango can bounce off him, though.
That's why I thought you could.
Yes,
I thought
but,
it was the
but
same logic.
consistency, like this is like Dota's like the English language. Consistency is for babies.
That's very true. It is very true.
It's also 25% French.
So yeah, I like the idea of the Force Staff, by the way, just because to
Me
you know
too.
backtracking, because you're going to be playing a position 5 but you're gonna just go in, basically give vision right to the DK to the Mars to give them a better initiation,
I
but
like it, yeah.
but also kind of kite around a little bit, and if you can pop that ulti, Force Staff yourself back towards the embrace of your entire team, and then maybe kite around IPG, because we saw IPG last game. Let's be honest, they took some fights they shouldn't have, right?
Yeah, I agree. I just think that in this game particularly, more valuable items genuinely than Force Staff are the Medallion I spoke about, the Vlad's, which he's already going for, by the way, and the... actually, Holy Lock is also consideration.
Is he going for Vlad's?
Yeah, he's already going for
Okay,
Vlad's,
interesting.
he's-
So Melis is maybe still going to pick up the casual Morbid Mask here?
What, Melis? No, Melis doesn't. Mars these days don't pick up the casual.
Okay.
Tidehunters do. Yeah, because Mars doesn't really use it as much as
All right.
Tidehunters.
Fair enough. You're right.
Madonna's going to struggle. I would rather see a Ghost Hunter, for example, on ABBA, rather than... Because you just want to deal with the PA this game on ABBA. And your whole team is actually kind of weak in terms of armor. But once you get the Vlads, it's kind of
Nice dodge from Ladon. Unfortunately, the Illuminate is going to just run him down. That Stampede. And good aggression in this bottom lane.
That was a very dark line.
I know. That's why I keep the voice lines on, because some of them are really good. The lore
That's pretty
interactions.
Because Caudal, in case you guys don't know, is one of the 4 basic essences of the world, and he's the essence of light.
Along with another one here, Wisp,
Yep.
who is in everything.
Yes. He's the basic... Actually, what is it in the basic forces of physics? He's the weak and strong.
Yeah, he's like a hydrogen bond
Weak and
or
strong
something like
nuclear
that.
forces. No, I
Yeah.
think that's what he is, though.
It's-
Like, he's supposed to represent those two.
No, you're right. He's literally the force that binds. So it's like your H bonds, your I forget. I don't
That's
know.
what it's called. Weak and strong nuclear forces.
It's been so long since I believe you. I just have to. I don't know. I only took 1 class of chemistry.
I mean, that's physics, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in the bottom
I
chemistry.
mean, everything is kind of like the same, though.
sure. When you
Science.
get down, sure. Okay.
At the subatomic level, I think physics and chemistry get really close to each other.
Krelats, he's already getting close to this Helm of the Dominator #1 already, though, so he's going to be looking for the Kobold. You can see this Abba kind of free to rotate around, already up to level 4, so he's pretty damn useful with this 1-2-1 build. He's probably going to go just reestablish some equilibrium here. But Supernova is not going to have a good time in this lane anymore now that we have nearly maxed spirits, because those are actually really, really great at dealing with, obviously, creep waves and the treants alike. So he's not going to be able to get too much tower push here running his way. Mid lane, though, Desperate is... That's Power Treads, right? Not a Midas, I'd assume. Yep, Power Treads. Belt of Strength on the way.
Midas DK no longer good, ever since they took away those talents. I used to love that build, the Midas Radiance build, right? Where you used to have the 40% XP talent to low 10, which was absurd, by the way. And then you had such great talents later. Oh, DK could be
It'll
in
snap the
trouble.
coil.
That doesn't matter, though. I think he's still going to die. So much damage. Oh, wait, Aphotic Shield. Might just say him Desperate, too tanky. Thanks to Ducalis, he heals enough, and they survive this and get 2 kills. Ladon will be the 3rd one. There's no way.
No, he is super
Ladon's
dead.
make it out of here. Puck's still trying to get a counter kill on the backlines.
Gets the courier.
Not too bad. I mean, as much as you can muster there.
Yeah.
But DK survives. That's a great rotation by Ducalis, honestly.
Yeah, and that's
point.
what I was talking about, right? When I highlighted his levels earlier, he's got a good enough experience to just leave the Wisp alone. Wisp is totally fine because the Furion can't kill him. Even without a Quelling Blade, Wisp is basically unkillable. And he does have a Quelling Blade, by the way. Tell him CS. So he's totally fine up in his top lane, and there's not very many laners, not many safe laners, I'll say, that you can pick and do this. Normally, it's like this happens around now with your Timbersaws, with your Tide Hunters, to your Marses as well to some degree if they can get a good lane.
That sucks. He miscalculated the poison. He left it on 2 HP. That's so stupid.
But yeah, having Wisp up here, who, by the way, is already up to level 7, finds a Satyr Tormentor, going straight into the Ags. He likes to go for the Ags. Sometimes he'll change it up. Sometimes he goes for like Heart immediately after.
Yeah.
He's starting to go for more. You can tell I've really been casting this guy a lot. Sanj and Sanj and Kaya, right? Yeah, I was no Yasha here for him, of course. Sometimes even then after that for the Heart as well, and then BKB sometimes mixed in between. This game, not that bad of a BKB game, but honestly, when you get Ags, you don't really care if you're silenced.
It's pretty awesome, honestly. I think that the way he builds them. That's why I don't like when people like pigeonhole the IO carry ever since they saw it from OG.
Oh, bottom. Oh,
They're gonna kill Rari. That's a really good initiation. But goodbye to Melis as well. And also to Astral, I think, waiting if it's available. I think a lot of teams now, ever since this guy became like quite meta and competitive, have practiced enough to know.
We are going to see the Midas.
Oh, we are going to see the null build. All right. I'm not, like, I don't think it's a bad item on DK, because he uses levels well, but it's just not as powerful as it used to be. It might just build the old build, though, because this game justifies it. Midas Radiance is pretty good this game.
I could see it, to be honest, as well. I still like the idea of the Blink Dagger, to be honest with you, though. That's my again, my major concern this game is your lockdown, and even though the Furion, he's not the best pick here to really, like, kind of squeeze out every single, like, to really, you know, take advantage of that, rather, if you're IPG, but I still think it's a solid build, and, you know, maybe it'll work. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
When you play this kind of build, the idea is that you're just going to try to force towers really early, and you hope that you can build Blink, because DK still relies on Blink with this build, right? It's very similar to when you go Kunkka Radiance. I feel like that the Dragon Knight, when you want to go for this build, he's like, okay, we can push towers early without trying to get too many core kills. It actually suits the IO timing very well, because IO timing with the Spirits usually are in level 20, right? Even with the Axe early in the build. Yeah. I know Krillop plays it even quicker than that, but that should be the timing you're aiming for.
That's like your big spike in which you should try and end the game under.
Exactly.
I think that's very accurate.
So then by the time that you get it, Midas Radiance plus Blink Dagger will definitely be on the DK. So I think he's playing around that spike ideally, and now just taking towers easily. Because that build is much better for taking towers. I know Ladon's dying, but it's just a CM.
It's just a maiden. Dies for the tower top as Melis is, you know, using a couple of lines.
I forgot that line existed. Yeah. What a great line. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good ones. I think the newer heroes are... Like, Valve can still make games, let's be honest. Like, a lot of the newer heroes are pretty damn good.
Valve certainly can make it. Is anyone doubting Ice Frog's, like, power?
That's true. That's true.
Are you kidding me? I know we like to complain, but we all accept that
I'm just
Valve
saying,
is great,
there are only a number of brand new heroes in the game, but they've all been awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, right?
Also
Snapfire's
unique,
all great.
Dude.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Like, hey, I know that other MOBAs might make more heroes, but I think it's quite easy when your hero is, projectile, passive,
projectile,
dash.
cone AoE.
Cone AoE, dash.
That's a summoner spell, sir.
Oh,
sorry. Is the blink.
Yeah, what was the third one's the passive then, right?
Yeah.
Projectile, cone AoE, passive.
Projectile, cone AoE. And
oh, unique ultimate.
Unique ultimate, there you go.
And then you go.
Compared to, you know, is there anyone? No, there's no one too excited in this game, unfortunately.
What
because
are you talking about?
Well, because nobody has like 6 actives, right? Like Kunkka.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But in the case of Mars, is like, what if we made a hero that replicates, like, makes walls and can pin you to walls with a mechanic that never existed before in Dota? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's make it.
And also, I mean, we ignore this, but it's true, right? Because it's normal to us. But if you play League, it's not messes around with your vision as well.
It's true.
That's another big one.
And also the fact that at first Bulwark was too vanilla, it was just like basic bristleback. So like, what do we make it inactive and also redirect 70% of projectiles?
Oh, no.
Oh, nice! Get down, Mr. President, says the Earth Spirit, as Koval will manage to survive this for now. Ascold in trouble with the Solar Bind. The silence is powerful. Coddle trying to beat him with auto attacks. Not too powerful.
He's gonna do it!
It's the Shadow Amulet. He does get the kill, but dies to the Crystal Nova. And they will lose Melis as well.
No!
Here comes the relocate from the IO.
Melis is alive!
We're desperate as well. Melis will survive as they finish off Ladon. Koval, though, does manage to get away, so He did sacrifice himself for the Puck. Does not accomplish saving Puck's life, but he does save his own life.
That's a second
terrible bodyguard.
That's the second time you've underestimated how powerful the support ABBA is at saving cores that should be dead there. I agree. You pick any other position 5 in the game, sorry to say, but that Mars is going to be diagnosed with death later on, and right as you're accurate. But that's the second time. First one onto the DK, second one onto the Mars. Great plays out from Ducalis. He's always here in time, and that's hard to do, guys. Cast range on a Phonic Shield is not that amazing, to be honest. It's meant to be, like, it's really powerful in the lane when you're close, but in team fights, it can be pretty hard to use because of its cast range. So, yeah, I mean, put some more respect on our ABBA here. He's able to save his cores pretty easily here. That's the second time, Avo.
He's playing on point. Yeah. I think Ducalis has been I mean, we say that he likes the IO, but I don't think the ABBA is too far off from what the IO accomplishes, right? I think Ducalis is just really good on supports that can you save. Yeah. We've seen his Oracle as well being really solid. And his Shadow Demon, actually. He's one of the few guys that still play Shadow Demon 5.
Shadow Demon, he sometimes Puckchamp will break up the Spirit Breaker for him. And he's actually really damn good on the hero as well. He's always lining up these multi-hero stuns. I'm telling you, like, good support players, I think they can kind of see to the Matrix with a Blink Dagger or whatever. You know, they're always looking to line up multi-hero stuns, right? Same thing for, like, the Earth Spirit players. They're always looking for multi-hero boulders, boulder smashes, right? And the grips, right? They're always looking to maximize this. And it's the same thing here. The efficiency on Ducalis and these next level players, I kind of want to call them, is really sets them apart, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's why I've been enjoying Puckchamp so much, right? They bring their own style and their own pool of heroes, but they're unique, dude. These are 5 individuals that also make a team that's quite unique within the context of the region. I think that's why the CIS region, despite not having the same, Eastern European, I guess now, despite not having the same influx of tournaments tier 2 as China, they've still developed some really strong teams because they all have so much personality and character, you know?
Ladon is going to be getting ran at by Ducalis as they will be able to secure a bounty. 3 bounties now for Puckchamp. Let's just check in on our Wisp real quick. He's got Ags already going for the Sanja. Probably going to be the Kaya right after. So pretty standard build here for Krelat. But, you know, he's just playing Farming Simulator right now. He'll join fights maybe if he needs to with the relocate. But that's the beauty, right? Oh, there's the fight.
At least Asgold sounds like, thank God there's no Orchid.
Here he is.
Krelat's coming by, but it's not enough damage. He's going to kill Ladon instead. And like, yeah, sure, you murdered Crystal Maiden, but you wanted more than that, of course. You wanted the Puck, but you still don't have anything. Festive boops.
Oh, they're going bottom.
Yep, and Supernova could be in trouble. Another reason why...
Oh, Dragon Tail not in time. They
didn't have it.
They destroyed the tree a bit too late. I think, yeah, you could see he had the stick in his backpack instead. So I think they didn't realize what was going on until Supernova, and they didn't get the wisps to hit him. The spirits do give vision when they explode, but Krelat just missed him, unfortunately. So that's why he was able to TP.
That's the whole reason why usually, I mean, that was one
and he did go for the blink. I love this for Desperate. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, blink. So then, not the Midas Radiance build. I think it's still suitable. The Midas still works out for him considering how much the IO is farming. Top lane, we're going to kill on the IO, or they're trying rather. Fair amount of regen, but not enough. He ends up dying. Snaps the coil, and the damage to Supernova is good enough. And here the help from Astral is not going to be too helpful. Honestly, he just kind of commits suicide afterwards.
Yeah, he was trying his best. He was being a good support player, right? Trying to die. No, look at me. I was really trying. I promise.
As support, sometimes you do the thing where you see your carry die. You go, well, I'm gonna die with him, so then he can't complain. I mean, I tried my best.
So he doesn't get tilted, because otherwise he'll go, where are the TPs? And he pings, and he goes, come on, guys. So it's honestly that's how you got to play sometimes.
Richie, let's be honest. For some reason, it's never where's the TP. It's always where TP, where TP, TP where.
Where TP.
And then they speak in perfect Queen's English, by the way. It just happens in that one phrase.
English.
That's what they taught me in Scotland.
Ducalis here. Didn't end up going for the over-corrosion. Not a very rich hero, of course, given that he just exists merely for to give vision, right? and pardon me, and run at enemies.
What's he going for first?
I don't know.
Courage just brought something to him. I think it was his wards.
Yeah, it was just wards. It looks like
I'm hoping it's Vlad's.
It looks like it. Yeah.
You're one of the. Actually, one of the few 5s, I would say. Bu and Venge are the only 2 that can carry Vlad's.
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't say Venge anymore. No. I would not say Venge anymore.
You're the only 5 that can carry Vlad's realistically and usefully because you don't die easily. Yeah. Every other 5 in the game... I mean, I'm struggling to think of anyone else that could really build 5. Maybe Tidehunter.
Maybe like a Spirit Breaker 5.
Yeah, like a Tide Turk 5. But now we're looking into like weird 5s.
I agree. I think generally speaking, DP would be really weird on. I would probably prefer a pipe on her, to be honest.
Yeah,
if you're
going to build aura items.
Yeah, so. All right.
And even then, I'd rather you don't build aura on DP5 because you don't usually have the tank ability. Whereas Abaddon just has an innate in him. So
of course. Yeah, so, Helm of the Dom finished up. Going next for the BKB instead of the Sanjay, it seems. Krelat doesn't want to die like that again. So he is going to be building the defensive strength item.
I love that the Kobold is just sipping on his goblet there next to the heroes doing the work.
He's chilling. I mean, he doesn't need to be here, right? He's just here for the move speed. He's here for logistics. He's not here for firepower. As for the firepower, instead, Ducalis absorbing tons of it. We haven't seen Rari. He's got Battle Fury, nearly completed Desolator, but Desperate making the jump on him. There's going to be now the overcharge attack speed. Freezing Field, letting it go. Ladon, nothing to cancel him here, as they need to try and get away from this with the Dream Coil holding them in. Lots of magic damage being dealt, but Ladon's going to stop the channels. They will relocate him away. Magnetized Boon Refresh now thrice. Frozen as solid as ice, going to be Astral. There it goes. There's the line, boys. Ladon got him. Koval with a double kill, but Desperate's now back along with Krelat. They're now cleaning up the remains as both supports will fall for both teams. Puckchamp, they're looking for more. They want the puck, but they're not going to be able to catch him.
It took you longer to figure out that line than it did for them to rotate all the way from bottom to mid.
That's how fast Puckchamp are. Askel, he's taking a beating.
Mashed. No way.
He's dead.
Look at the Cobalt Foreman. That goblet wearing creep. You cannot beat him. Desperate blinks towards them. They have Breathe Fire. They don't see him because of nighttime. Breathe Fire, not enough damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, the stun, of course, is got minuscule range and ranged or melee form. It is instant, but you got to be right up in their face, of course. That's going to come up in the anime, I'm sure.
Can you imagine? Oh, now that I'm a dragon, I can throw my shield to stun them. I never considered
Well, no,
this.
no, but he hits him with the tail.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's range, and that's why it takes time to travel.
What's he doing when he's in melee form?
He bashes them with the shields.
Oh, okay. So then why is it called Dragon Tail then?
Because when he's in a why is he called Dragon Knight if he has a shield? It's the same question.
No, I feel like
He's a knight.
I feel like it should be called Dragon Tail.
He's half dragon,
shield.
half knight. No, it's okay. Don't worry. You'll figure this out when the anime comes out, you casual. Read the manga first, okay?
It's called manga!
Rari, though, diving onto Astral. Gets a big old crit. Unfortunately, he's still going to lack the damage to clean him up with the cleave. Askel will be able to clean that one up, looking to run away. Again, they kind of lack the catch here. Dragon Tail range form, though, able to catch up to Askel. They've got lots of damage here now. No spear, though, so Puck may still be allowed to live. Spear in 2 seconds, but no, they've got the physical damage. And in the pit is Krelat out here doing Roshan along with his good buddy Ducalis.
Well, we're seeing a bit of a stump again, right? I feel like it's very similar to last game. It's this time instead of dominating your mid lane, it's really that the 3 cores just really farmed, right?
I want to add something in there. The Furion not really doing a whole lot this game,
and
unfortunately.
It was just not a good pick. We said it from the beginning.
No,
right?
it wasn't unfortunate. It's a good pick if it's an Alba core, but it's not.
I feel like there were much better picks as elusive offlaners go, like Pango, for example, suggested. Hella, Tide would have been fine here as well. Tide would have been kind of nice. You still have chances, though, as IPG, because the late game is still potentially yours, right?
Definitely. We've yet to hit the scary part, though, for Puckchamp, which, of course...
Went for a BKB, interesting.
Yeah. He needs a defensive item. That usually happens. If Krelat dies once, he's like, all right, whatever, I'll build BKB.
Yeah, not going to go for the hard build that he loves so much. Right?
No, we'll probably see it still go for Sanja and Kaya immediately after this.
Because he would actually build in Sanjay, and then he decided to go for BKB instead.
Exactly, yeah. But so this is just something he does. He recovers nicely. He doesn't just commit to a build. I mean, this isn't just like a one trick, right? It's not like he only knows the one build. He's a good Wisp player, genuinely. Koval in some trouble, pinned to the walls of the arena, trying to roll himself out. Unfortunately, Ducalis is somehow going to be the one that he jumps onto there. Bottom. Supernova looking to TP. The spear catches him and stuns him up. The Kobold just whipping him to death as Krelat will be able to pick up another dominating streak here. 5-1-2 now on the core Wisp. Some more happy boops for you there, sir.
I absolutely love that he has the voice lines, dude. I love that they commit to both Wisp and Phoenix and they don't give him a voice, even in the voice lines, and they just have a different kind of squawks. Astro, okay. There we go, Dragon Tail though with the relocate. I think it's a difficult position for Rari, but with a BKB, he might save himself. More time, they're not going to be able to stop the Abba at all. Now Rari's the target,
good Dream
slowed
Coil.
by the DK. Dream Coil snaps, unleashed one of them, but not the other two because they both have BKBs. Still chasing after Rari. The booping continues, but it is the booping of death.
Yeah, they boop him with a Dragon Tail and Rari will go down.
Can you imagine they're asking PS like, what were the last things you heard before you died?
Boop, 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 boop. And then I got booped with a Dragon Tail. That's also going to be...
That's the horror part of the anime.
That's also going to be... Apparently it's R-rated, so...
It is R-rated, so that's where Io comes in.
That's where Io comes in. He relocates in.
It was an unstoppable force. A force? A basic, a weak and strong nuclear force of the universe.
Didn't make any sense. At first, his spirits didn't do any damage. All of a sudden, there was a big flashing beam of light, like a spotlight, and all of a sudden, we were dying left and right.
And out from his rear came this stick. We thought it was a pleasure stick, but it turns out it was the Academ Scepter. Gave him so many more spirits.
Nah, I'm sure Ags will be in that. Coddle is going to recall Melis, is what I meant to say, and they're going to pick up the kill on a Supernova. That's a big problem as well, actually. Coddle's super useful at hunting down the Furion.
I mean, the whole team is super useful hunting down Furion.
Yes.
DK, Mars, Coddle, and Io all counter you.
Yeah, but you could say that they have problems with catching up to him, right? Because he can TP top, TP bottom, TP top.
Yeah,
you know,
but Io and Coddle both catch up.
That's what I'm saying, though, right? That's the point I'm making here. Thank you for making it for me.
I just feel like it's. I just feel like the pick is highly questionable this game.
It's unfortunately not panning out here, as we can clearly see, as they're making the jump. Good silence, though, onto Melis. He's going to stand his ground. Desperate makes the jump in. Asgold breathing fire, and they're going to pick up the kill with the God's Rebuke. Koval has no choice but to leave, and there's level 20 now for Wisp. 60s.
Oh, no! Oh, that was a ghost. Okay. I thought it was the Foreman for a second. It's fine. The ghost dies, no big deal.
The Foreman.
Yeah, it's a Cole Foreman.
Yeah.
I go for the tower mid. I mean, they have a DK. Wasn't that bad, right? It's like the pushing power. Yeah, but this team is insane.
And I mean, he's already level 20, 24 minutes in. So is the DK, of course, but thanks to this Midas. Look at this, this attack speed.
It's insane. You even have Solar Crest on Mars, which I actually love. Melis decided to go for a Solar Crest. Not very common this build on Mars, but very useful for this high ground siege.
That animation is not meant to be played that fast.
What, the DK?
Yeah, you can tell.
I love that every time he attacks, he has to move his wings. Like, that produces the projectile for some reason.
Yeah,
They're still fighting mid.
Oh, are they?
Yep, they just killed CM. Boop, 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 boop. They pushed the DK away.
He's got BKB, though. He's going to turn and fight onto Rari. Rari with his own BKB, but just stunned up. They know that Puckchamp can't continue to fight this, or can they? Because Rari is going to go for it. Oh, he's got the TP. Yep.
Perfectly timed, though, Kaval. That BKB was going to expire. That was exactly
Where
there.
are we relocating back? We are.
No, I don't think he meant to. He has a BKB himself. He can just get away. That's why you build BKB, and he's going to TP away now.
Yep.
With the TP from Ducalis as well. That's the friendly peeps. My goodness, dude.
Yeah, and Puckchamp up 14k right now. I mean, it is a little bit more difficult now that we're going to have Deso up soon for Rari, because, again, this is the time to try and end the game for Puckchamp. They're at their strongest here until, I would say, until PA gets online. I mean, that's not at least until coup de grace level 3, of course, right? You just don't have the damage.
You're very close, though.
You're very close.
I would say it's +1 after this later. I don't think there's... Because the enemy team out-farms you already, which usually you get online around this time.
Oh, Creelat.
Okay, good kill. There's no BKB here. That's super valuable. But they do have an Abaddon nearby. They're trying to save the IO best they can. They have enough. They do. For now, IO survived. They've killed Kaval instead. Thanks to the blinding light, they send the PA flying. Rari has to confirm himself with a kill on Astral. But that's not what he was looking for. He's just going to die. Krilla, on the other hand, not going to die whatsoever. And here the taunting boops again. Sing the song of death. Boop, 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 boop,
I think
boop, boop.
Did he have Aegis the whole time?
No, he didn't.
It just, who had it?
Oh, no, he must have. Yeah.
Who had it then, right? Because it just got reclaimed, obviously.
And he just killed, right? So it must have been him.
Yeah, it must have been him. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's why he's
relocate
fighting
bottom
against him. They try to calculate that perfectly.
Supernova
in trouble.
He's going to be scouted. Yeah.
He's like, I learned. I'm not bringing this DK. He's slow. I'm bringing my Smars every time.
You got to bring the Mars, right? Because he can just yeet that spear right in there. Doesn't require the vision. Nice play. He's going to actually leave Melis behind now.
That song is getting stuck in my head now.
It's what is it? Yeah, Rari's not having so fun of a game, unfortunately, this time around. But
he doesn't have level 25 voice lines, dude.
What is PA's level 25 voice line even?
I don't know, actually. I've never seen it.
I don't know if I've seen a level 25 PA.
If you play PA enough to be level 25, it says a lot about you.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
It's not a good thing. It's the kind of thing where, like, if I found out my partner was doing that, I would probably break up with him.
Oh, wow. Is this a bad time to tell you that I'm a level 25 techie?
You're not my partner!
Maiden is going to get absolutely eaten alive.
You're gonna feed the fandom with that.
2-3 tower taken down. Desperate. They need to give him the Solar Crest to break the animation, though. But no matter, he's still going to be able to break down these barracks just as quickly. And that's going to be second lane of barracks, then nukes down.
The Solar Crest, like, hey, here you go, even though he wasn't hitting anything.
Yeah, they're going to give it to, they're going to leave the top barracks to the wagon, so that siege wagon's going to get a nice medal and a promotion. As there goes Koval. This is going to be the big one here, but there it's a 4v5. Astral nearly dead already. Snaps the coil, but he's still alive thanks to the healing out from Ducalis. In the meantime, Rari with his BKB running out. Needs the Phantom Strike defensively, but they're going to set up the arena.
Rari,
perfectly locking in Rari. He's dead for a whole minute. Out comes the This Is Dota voice lines. Nature's Prophet's going to buy back, but he's the only one. Everyone else already dead. As Creelat might take a little dip into the fountain. GG is dropped. Creelat with an ultra kill on the Wisp. And and that is going to be the 2-0 and the promotion for Puckchamp. Congratulations, as they will be the second team to now join Winstrike in the upper division for Season 2, presumably the ESL 1 Eastern European DPC upper division. Congrats!
Yep. Well, now we still need to know, though. Oh, wait, no, it's true, because this is, as opposed to the major, this actually happens. Right. So people were asking in the chat, Ellie Dota's actually asking in the chat, this makes a lot more sense, whether the two people that are in the upper division need to play tiebreakers. Since the two slots that happen to go to upper division, because we're in lower, are the exact same, there's going to be no tiebreakers. I'm unsure how that rule works.
I can tell you, because I did my research before this. It's because it is only going to be between placements, and it doesn't have any...
I understand that, but I mean,
I'm just explaining it to the crowd.
But in upper division, though, if you are between first and second, since the difference is going to the major or going to group stages, right, going to playoffs or group stages, do you play tiebreakers then? That's my question.
Oh, yeah, you do.
You do? Okay.
But for this, there's no such ruling.
Because they're both same position.
Because they're both, it's the same result no matter what. So it's going to come down to their head-to-head results. Is going to be the first tiebreaker they use because they have the same score, 6-1. Because Puckchamp did defeat Winstrike 2-1, they are going to be actually getting first place.